first of all, the team tomorrow we're going to Banyuwangi. Banyuwangi is the place where we're going to have piloting for applying digital public infrastructure into social assistance. Banyuwangi is a city very end toward the east of Java, but despite that, let me start with a global context. What does it have to do, this Banyuwangi, with Donald Trump, for example? Well, as Pak Luhut mentioned this morning, the world that we're facing today is very different. So here, Pak Luhut mentioned about the global uncertainty, which is at its peak in history. But I think the root cause behind that is much more complex. What we should realize is that it was a culmination of at least three things globally, which is first is political fragmentation. You have steadily increasing right-wing populism in the advanced countries. And then you have social fragmentation through the great decoupling, where wage increase has been much less than labor productivity in the West, and then materialize into the increase in inequality in this country, technology, job polarization, and then, of course, economic fragmentation in the way where world trades as a percent of GDP has been slowing down, and increase of trade protectionism. But I'd like to note the notion of secular. So if you expect Donald Trump will disappear in 5 years, I don't think so, because he has friends. So the rise of populist leader is not contained in the US, but it's everywhere. So the global challenge that we face is unprecedented. And Indonesia, in the context of this external forces challenge or external attack, what should we do? Well, next. Next slide, please. Okay. I never like a football commentator that's saying the best defense is offense, because statistically speaking, those who win trophy is always the one who has good at defense. So in the context of Indonesia, I think there are some countries that has potential or has capacity to do defense, but there are some, they are not really prepared. But Indonesia, I think, has a capacity to do defense by finding opportunity to counter-strike. So defensive through strengthening the resilience of domestic economy while carefully find opportunity to be offensive. It's like England football team, right? When it's winning, so it's trying to strike, but never win. Oh, no, rarely win, sorry. Rarely win. Okay, so what should we do? I mean, in the context of this defensive strategy. Next. So I think at least 4, but we have to identify what do we have to have a resilient domestic economy. I think we have 2 at least. First, we have big populations, and then secondly, we have rich natural resource. That large populations yet has to be transformed first into strong middle class. Through what? Through social mobility. There is no other way. And here, where is the role of social protections? So I think I identified at least 4 that can be leveraged to increase domestic economy. Mobility dividend, and then strategic shifts or structural transformations, and then technological advance, or maybe we can focus on digitalization called digital leap, and then of course institutions. Improve market efficiency, deregulation, innovation, environment. I think if these 4 can be handled, I think we are resilient enough to have a strong economy. So in the context of this discussion, I think I want to focus on these two, the mobility dividend and digital leap. Next. So if I may want to elaborate, so this mobility dividend is our aim to transport the large population into strong middle class through social mobility. Why? Because a robust middle class serves two functions. First, fuel domestic demand, reducing dependence on volatile, now unfriendly external markets. And also, second, serve as talent base for innovation and productivity. But we need three key policy intervention. One of them is very relevant today, which is the improve equality of opportunity via well-targeted social assistance. And then the digitalization, I think, is to leverage the technology for inclusive productivity. So we have to capitalize the growth, the rapid growth of and declining cost of digital tech. And as you can see from this figure, if you see this color, the brown color, there's almost invisible in Indonesia. Meaning what? Meaning untapped capacity. So we still have a room for improvement. So blessing in disguise, right? Okay. Again, I'd like to emphasize that we still need to change paradigm sometimes, right? Because social protections often seen as a cost to the budget. But that's wrong. That's long idea, long foregone ideas. Social protection is investment. It's a case for growth. So there's always debate about whether or not you are poor because you are not productive, or you are not productive because you are poor. I think there are so many compelling evidence that the latter is more appropriate. In February, there will be Ramadan, fasting month. If you want to test this theory, just go ahead. Ask your staff to do complex stuff late afternoon during Ramadan. Right? I'm sure it's less productive. You cannot think if you're hungry. Okay? So, important. So, as you can see here, this is just a study, a very interesting study, where you compare, in India, you know, the cane plantation can grow and harvest during different times. So, it's easy to make a comparisons. So, farmer who are just recently get harvest, they are smarter than farmer who has wait harvest for a long time. So this is a proof, for example, that you are if you're hungry, you cannot think. If you want people to think and smart, make sure they are not hungry. So that's the idea. So it's a social protection investment. In the long run as well, this is the very seminal work by Bell Chetty and some of you maybe know the author, where you can see that if you are from poor family, despite you have the same grade math test score during your childhood, the chance of you becoming an inventor is much lower. I always quote Stiglitz saying that the best strategy to success in your life is choosing the right parents, right? So as long as you cannot choose the right parents, digitalization or social protection is non-negotiable. Next, and this is how we should think that the social protection in Indonesia still need a lot of improvement. So in Banyuwangi, we are measuring from Susena's data, for example, that the mistargeting of social assistance in Indonesia is quite severe. So 70%, if food assistance is targeted to poorest 50%, right? And then if you survey households, representative sampling, then you find that actually 70% of them undercovered, not covered, and 40% leak. So only 30% of people in need actually are given the social assistance. In this case, food assistance. So it means we have room for improvement, and not only it becoming more, more equitable, but budget-wise, it will save a lot of money. Next. Oh, this is just another example. So this is what we are doing in DEN, in coordination with other ministries, is that the government is currently developing DPI to transfer public service delivery and social protection as one of first use case. Not only this, but social protection is a naturally first use case. So we have three key element of DPI, which is the digital identity. So we tap in the most recent technology of biometric, a combination with the administrative data to have digital ID, and then data exchange. So our administrative data can connect, interoperable, and then as well as digital payment. So these three elements of DPI we are trying to set up here. And then we can use for many various purposes, including social protection, but that's not the only one. We can use health, education, business licensing, and others. Now we are doing piloting in Banyuwangi as a social protection, as a use case. So for two main social assistance, which is conditional cash transfer, PKH, and then food assistance or BPNT. And then, of course, the digital identity make possible for us to open registrations. So we open registration, focus on testing digital identity to register potential beneficiaries using Perlinsos. And then we set up this. We did it a few months ago. And then the data exchange, we are now have several administrative data that link to this, and later on we will adopt digital payment to make a seamless payment system. The work is undergoing now at the moment, and this is a little bit about Banyuwangi or the pilot. So this is the populations of Banyuwangi, 488,000 households, or 1.63 million, and 83% has access to smartphone. So Indonesia has smartphone, yeah, not just phone, smartphones, enough to do all these things. Yet, of course, they are challenged because out of 488,000 households, actually, eventually 364,000 registered. So to register, so more than 50% registered, and also maybe I would like to note that if you see the pictures on the right, that's the number of households registered by existing designations of their income decile. So as you can see that still those who are registering, our data or our estimates still suggest that some of them are not really eligible households. So this is a homework for us. I have another two slides for lessons learned, maybe just for the sake of discussion later on. So the digital system can enhance efficiency and transparency, but it is interesting to find that this registration was completed quite short, 3 minutes per household. However, despite 83% ownership of smartphone, 95% of beneficiaries need facilitator to complete the registration. So digital ownership is okay, but digital literacy is not. So this is another thing that we should, because otherwise the seamlessness of this program is not optimal. So we should think of the way how to improve this literacy, and it's a lot, 90%. And then, of course, facilitator remains central, yeah, to inclusion, yet face limited capacity, guidance, and clarity on still need improvement, yeah, still improvement. And also there are some findings that also relevant. For example, beneficiary experience varies, yeah, by digital readiness. For example, elderly, low literacy, that's assisted user. But we also find some opportunity. We found some community mobilizers. So this can help guide peers, yeah? But of course we need to training them in a structured way. Yeah? But also we can identify something we call peer educators. So they complete self-registration and can assist others. So there are already existing solutions to this illiteracy. Yeah? But of course, we need more. Now, and then the platform interoperability and data integration show potential, but this is also one of the most pressing issues, require strong technical readiness. Because I learned from some colleague, from Mahdi, from other people here in the World Bank, that we have potential for administrative data to improve targeting, but if the administrative data is not good yet, it will instead make them excluding people. Because, for example, incompleteness. If you have house where you have cars, both house have cars, but one of the house car hasn't been re-registered because of recent purchase, so it treats them unequally in terms of whether or not these two houses require assistance. That's unfairness, right? So this thing has to be settled. Otherwise, maybe it's better not to apply it. Things like that actually need a lot of thinking and improvement. Not everybody register, not everybody has, for example, land certificate, things like that. So incompleteness is important, but not only incompleteness, but also the data standardizations. Still have a lot of issues. Maybe Budini will tell about it later. So unsynchronized civil registry, unverified bank account, and so on. So governance and safeguard must balance speed, accuracy, and accountability in digital registrations. So we learned that the pilot's top-down registration increased coverage, for example, because this is like in the spirit of as many as people can register. But actually there is some kind of moral hazard a little bit. So there's created incentive to over-register. So maybe that's the reason why maybe more than 55% registers. Okay. And then clearer data protections. Also we need very strong SOP for it. And maybe I will just skip this. This one. Maybe I'd like to start this one. So in the council, we really care about doing things scientifically, evidence. So here too, we aim to measure our alternative approach into measurable and comparable impact. So for example, we have this DPI means Digital Public Infrastructure as scenarios that we're trying to do. So we have this scenario. So we have DPI one scenario where we just, for example, simply, what if we just add on-demand application only? Okay. And then what if we have extra administrative data filtering? What if we have also grievance mechanisms that are all elements of DPI in social assistance. And then we will do some sampling survey at the end to calculate whether or not this improve the error, both inclusion or exclusion error. So we will make sure, not really make sure 100%, but of course we can ensure that whatever we experiment here result in the proper improvement. So we can use this result of evaluation to next phase of the project. Oh, sorry, pilots, because there will be 37 or 31, 32 more pilots coming to 32 districts. When we talk about 32 districts, I mean we will do it to population of those districts, not sample, populations of those districts. So it will be, and maybe that phase, I do really hope that partners, including IGC, LSE, can participate more on this extra piloting that will be much bigger than this. So this opportunity also to do research and things. So basically that's my remark. So I do hope that, I mean, not do hope, I'm sure that you will have very fruitful discussions about this and will benefit the country that this is the issue that we need the most. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.